Hey everybody, it's Anna. Welcome back to my art channel and thank you for stopping by. So today I'm super excited. Can you tell what I'm doing? I am making another Seahorse silhouette micro swipe painting. So the first one, which you may have seen already, and if you have, I will link to it here. Click that little thing that's popping up. So that was a very well-liked painting. A lot of people like the actual painting, a lot of people have liked the video of it, and I got a commission to do another one. So this one is on a gallery wrap 12 by 24 inch canvas. I'm doing it basically the same design. She wanted a little bit more green, so I've got this ocean green, which is this beautiful kind of seafoam color. So my colors are this dark navy, which is a mix of phthalo blue and black. I've got this ocean green by Master's Touch Acrylics with a little bit of another green that I had to dull it just slightly. Then I have metallic teal by Blick Studio Acrylics. I have Caribbean from Apple Barrel. That one looks thicker than it really is. There we go. These are all mixed medium to medium thin. And all of the colors, except for the navy, have some silicone oil in them. Just a little bit, like 1 drop per ounce or 1 drop per color. That's Sargent Metallic Blue. And then Metallic Sea Mist by Craftsmart. So all the colors have silicone oil in them. I've got a white base, which is a mix of Sargent and Apple Barrel. I like this as a base because Apple Barrel paint on its own can crack sometimes if you don't have enough Floetrol mixed in, but adding the Sargent seems to help it not crack so much. All right, those are my colors. So I did this little test swipe for the client so that she could okay how the colors looked, and she said she loved it. So I just laid out some of the colors just on a piece of freezer paper and did that little practice swipe. Instead of doing a whole practice canvas, you don't have to do that, just do a little practice section. And that way you'll get a feel for how it will look. All right, who's ready to make another seahorse? Woo! So the tools I'll be using here are these little plastic pieces. These are pieces of laminator sheet that I just cut. So you could use, I don't know, plastic packaging from various things as long as it's flexible, and I like it clear so that you can see through it and see what you're grabbing. It doesn't have to be clear though. So those are my micro swipers, and I have a couple of palette knives also. All right, so the first step, this silhouette here, this is blue tape. So what I did was I just took some kitchen parchment paper and I sketched out the shape of a seahorse, just the front edge of the seahorse, and then I put blue tape on top of it, and then I flipped it over and cut around on the back side where I could see that line. So this blue tape is providing mostly just guidelines so that I know where to put the colors and where to swipe. It does help provide a barrier so that it doesn't make a huge mess. I took, from my last seahorse video, I took the advice of somebody who commented who said, heat the tape up with a hairdryer and then press it down really hard. So I've tried that, and we'll see whether that makes the tape provide more of a barrier than before. So that's my pattern. So I start by putting out white just on the back edge of the canvas. Alright, so my colors now, I'm going to put down, I'm going to start with this front edge color, the dark navy. So then I'm going to just add my colors in thin little stripes, starting with this ocean green. Next I'm going to do the metallic teal. Alright, next one is the Caribbean blue. Metallic blue. Okay, and the last color is this metallic sea mist, which I'm just gonna sort of put over the top of all the colors, just to get some nice crossover. These colors are looking so amazing next to each other. I think this is going to be a really, really pretty color combination. Alright, the last step before I start swiping is to add more of this front edge color in front of everything else. So this is kind of over top of the tape actually. It's just so that as I grab and start pulling the swipe tool across, so that it has something solid and dark to pull across. Alright, the colors are all laid down. Who's ready to start swiping? Okay, before we start swiping, we gotta take this background color and just carefully push it up to the edge. I think I have enough on the canvas that I don't need to put more on, but I might need to add a little bit. Alright, it's time to swipe. So I'm gonna start, where am I gonna start? I think I'm gonna start with the nose section and pull it back this way. Only touching the dark here. Okay, that's pretty. My goodness, those bubbles are pretty. I wish you could see them as they pop up. It's just amazing. Let's do another one here in the front of the face. Excellent. So as I'm swiping here, it's just, I'm touching it into that swipe color and pulling carefully through, sort of moving in an up and down motion. I think I can get all of this in one. Great. So the back edges here are looking just a little bit rough, but I will tweak those as I go along. Right now I'm just trying to get those bubbles. Here, okay. Got a smaller one here for this little neck section. Make sure to wipe off your swipe tool after every time. Otherwise, you'll get a muddy mess. I so wish that I could give you a close-up right now of these amazing bubbles. You'll just have to wait until the end, but it's looking so cool. Wow, this is looking totally amazing, super duper cool. Except for that cell is too big. So I'm just going to take, this is my best trick if you're using silicone and you have a spot you don't like, just take a tiny little piece of paper towel, stick it where you don't like, drag it through, and voila! It takes out what you didn't like and leaves behind a lovely trail of bubbles. Okay, so I have this very thick dark layer in front here, and I think some of that is just sitting on top of the blue tape, and when I peel it back it won't be as big of a line, which is good. That's what I want. I think before I do anything else I do want to pull up this tape. That way I can see exactly what I'm working with before I clean up this back edge. So let's pull it up. Alright, this thing is looking almost unbelievably beautiful. Pulling up that tape has left a much more defined seahorse shape, so that's great. Love that. It's looking much better than it did without the tape. I do need to clean up the front edge a little bit where some paint leaked out, so I'll wipe that up, and then we'll put down the base coat over on the side. Alrighty, so the white is down on this side. It's looking great. As you can see, it's just, it's made the edge slightly uneven. That can be touched up with a brush after everything is dry, so it's not a big deal. So I need to tweak this head shape just a little bit, and I need to add the rest of the tail, which is going to curve around here. Let me do the head first. I'm going to try my little paper towel trick. And I'm going to dip it in some of the edge color so that it starts out as this. There we go. And I will be adding wisps up here to the top edge. I just wanted to get that a little bit more smooth, so got that. Alright, so the tail here. And then I do want to add a couple of colors down here at the bottom, so let me add this ocean green, kind of sea foam green color. I think some of this metallic blue, that'll give some pretty good variety without having to add too much paint. A little bit of the metallic teal too. So I'm going to use my little plastic swiper. This is like an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and just do a few little wisps coming out here. Okay, I'm just going to switch to little bits of paper towel now, so I have very tiny swipes going through. At this point, I do want just a touch of color up on the inside edge now. My blue is disappearing into the white, so I'm going to dip my paper towel into the blue. Alright, that's looking very cool. Very cool, almost done, almost completely done. Looking great. Let me start adding in the wispy edges on the side. And for that, I'm going to use my little palette knife, and I'm just going to sort of pull through and add some flowing lines. In a couple of spots, I'm just going to just touch the tip of my palette knife into some of the darker paint and just add some little stripes of the darker navy. This is in the area where it is not quite as bold and dark here at the back of the Seahorse. So just to add a little bit of definition. Gonna do a few more, but with the metallic teal, just to see how that looks, to have a couple different colors. Yeah, I think it looks good to have not just the one color. Alright, I'm gonna move up to the head and add some wisps up there on the top of the head. And then I'm going to add a few here along the back of the head. It's looking fantastic. It is looking so, so good. Alright, there's not much left to do. Whew, this is an involved process, but we are nearing the end. The last thing is I need to add tiny little wisps here to the front edge of the Seahorse. And then I need to fix the shape of this nose just a little bit, and then add some little dots of color around the outside. Alright, I gotta fix this nose shape just a little bit, and some of that tweaking I can do again after it's dry, but I'd like to get it as good as I can while it's wet. One thing that I am going to do to the nose here is I'm just going to take a little bit of paper towel and drag it through, because there's a big blob of this light green that I don't love. Alright, I think I am finished with all of the actual Seahorse design. Woo! It's looking so cool. The color blend is spectacular. So now I'm going to add some little dots around like bubbles in the water. When I did my first Seahorse painting video, one of the main comments that I got back was, "I love this, I hate the bubbles." Well, okay, personal preference. In this case, my client wants the bubbles, so I'm doing them again. I'd love to do another Seahorse where I don't do bubbles, so keep watching my channel and eventually I may have something for you people that don't like the bubbles. But I'm just going to take my colored paint and carefully place just a few, since it goes so close here to the back side, and so there would only be space for a few bubbles here. I only want to do a few on this side also. If you're doing bubbles, make sure to start with very small dots of paint, because on a wet background, the tiny little dots will spread and they'll get much bigger. If you want really, really tiny dots, you can always add them in after the painting has dried. All right, guys, I'm finished. This is looking so, so good. I cannot wait to send a picture to the client. I can't wait for it to dry. I can't wait to add the eye right here. There's even a nice dark spot. It's like it was just ready to receive it. So I'm finished. This is awesome. Let me give you a close-up. All right, here it is. I'll start you up here at the head. Amazing. Look at all those cells. Look how pretty those are. And once those metallics start sparkling when they're dry, it's going to be just amazing. I just love the way micro swipes make these gorgeous, gorgeous bubbles, as well as a controllable pattern. And there's the tail. And then the back edges here where I kind of swiped it out and added the little bits of color. Yeah, this is amazing. I will show you how it looks when it's dry. I might show you how I do my touch-ups and add the eye, or I might just skip that because it's boring. But I will show you how this looks when it is dry and finished, or dry so that I can show you how to do the eye. Hey, welcome back. Okay, the painting is dry. It's looking fantastic, and I just wanted to show you, look how those metallic colors shine. Especially that sea mist color, which is kind of, you know, it changes so much when the light shines on it. It's beautiful. So that's great. So it's time for me to do touch-ups now. So I've got my front edge color and I have some of the white base color. And I'm just going to be smoothing out this front edge where it got a little bit uneven and making it look cleaner and neater. And yeah, so I'm just going to put some of this front edge color into my little painting tray here. And just get some and find a spot, like for example this right here is very uneven. So I'm going to fill out this curve of the belly so that it looks more uniform and flows better. Alright, I think I've done all the touch-ups that I needed to do with my dark navy paint along the front of the face, along the front of the body, and then adding some details and structure to the tail. So now I'm going to use the white paint to come in on the other side of that and balance out those lines. So what I'm doing right now is I need to start making the eye spot. So we've got this section here that's already quite dark, but I need to make a defined kind of circular shape with this dark color so that I can then layer the white on top of it. So I've got my dark navy kind of space, and then I'm going to add the white, and then once the white dries I will come back in with the dark navy to fill in that eye spot. Alright, so here's the dry result, all finished, all the details added. So here along the tail I did thin it out a bit and added some of that dark navy in the middle just to make it look more natural. But check out all the metallics in these bubbles. Isn't that amazing? And then up here on the face I did add some color there to the face just to fill it in a bit and make it look more natural. So yeah, the client loves it. I love it. It looks so great. So I'm going to let it dry and cure a bit longer, and then I will be cleaning the silicone oil off of it. So you can click on this video link that's popping up if you're curious on how to do that, and then I'll varnish. Thanks so much for watching me do this seahorse video, and I hope you'll come back to my channel and watch some of my other videos. I will see you for the next one. Bye.